Good morning. Here's everyone. My name is Gustavo. I am the brand ambassador for Irish Whiskey for Pernod Ricard. So I take care of Jameson, Redbreast, and Spots. We also touch on Middleton, but that's kind of like the high-end premium stuff. I'm based out of Miami, but I cover Chicago as well and a couple other states. And I just flew in from Ireland. No, I'm just kidding. I came from Miami. I've been up since 5 a.m. in the morning, so I'm sorry if I'm a little groggy. I still haven't had like breakfast or anything. So here for you guys. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. You don't have to like wait till the end or anything. It's not a class. Like you don't have to raise your hand. Just go for it and ask. Are you guys familiar with Irish whiskey in any way? Do you guys know like the rules behind Irish whiskey? Anyone?
Irish is our least that they've been educated on.
3 years.
At least 3 years in Ireland, yeah. So, and you said something. What did you say? You guys have what?
Irish is the least that they've been trained on.
Oh, okay, cool.
So Indian and bourbon and Scotch. This one, that's why we're so excited because
Awesome.
it's.
That sounds great. So basically, by definition, Irish whiskey is a grain spirit that is either distilled continuous or column still or pot still. It has to be aged or matured in wood, and it has to be matured in the island of Ireland for at least 3 years. It has to be 3 years. 2 years, 7 months does not count. We had Jameson, for example, like to say that Jameson was aged for 3 years and 1 day, so there's no issues whatsoever. That is the rule. So as we go through each spirit here, Redbreast, Jameson, and Green Spot, I'll try to break down that definition and give you each, component of each. So you guys have a little taste yet? Oh, not yet.
I'm just getting them out here.
Back in the 800s, does anyone know what they were drinking back in the day? Or where whiskey kind of gets its origins from? It starts with kind of like a punch, but it's more like a beer. So they malted grains, and then it would germinate, it would oxidize with yeast. There's natural yeast in the air, and then that would kind of form some sort of beer that they could drink. And it was medicinal at some times, but for the most part, it was to bring everyone together. It's community driven. So in the 800s, they were drinking barley beer out in Ireland. The grain that you'll find all across Ireland is barley. There's fields, just similar to what you see out here. It's fields of gold. Does anyone know that Sting song? That he's referring to barley fields, right? So in the 800s, a bunch of Irish monks who were drinking barley beer and performing communions and all sorts of stuff, they took a trip through the Mediterranean Sea. And in the Mediterranean, they were kind of distilling perfumes. They were getting botanicals, herbs, and spices. And the art of distillation was discovered by these monks. And they were like, oh, how can you manage to get such beautiful aromas at such higher proof? And lo and behold, distillation came to be. You guys are familiar with distillation? Where it's yes? Okay, cool. So they took that idea of distillation and fermented beer and kind of married them together, and thus became Irish whiskey, right? So for Jameson, for example, is one of the biggest houses or families that created Irish whiskey. They were distilling barley, so they would malt the barley, distill it, and then they distilled it again and realized that you can up the proof even higher. So you would go from maybe 86% to about 89%. And then they did it again, and it would get to about 92%. They tried it again, but it pretty much became like ethanol. Like it was just pure alcohol, and it wasn't tasty enough. You'd lose all flavor. So they stopped at triple. And triple distillation is another one of those key things for Irish whiskey. So again, barley is the main grain, and triple distillation is going to be pretty much the main source of distillation. Compared to like American whiskeys or Japanese whiskeys, you only have one distillation, single distillation or double distillation. You guys have any questions so far? Good? Cool. Great. So we'll move on to start tasting it so you can kind of see the differences here. I would actually start with Jameson, not Redbreast. So that's the one in the middle. Jameson was founded in 1780 by John Jameson. He opened up his distillery in 1780. They started making the barley beer distillation there, and it was out in Cork. Cork, yeah. That's where the original distillation house was. Today you'll find it in Middleton, as a matter of fact, but it originated in Cork. If you ever go to Ireland, Cork is actually kind of like a museum at the moment. Like a nice historic spot for you to venture through. But the big distillery is out in Middleton, where all of these are actually made. Redbreast, Spots, and Middleton, of course. So 1780 he opens up. It's a huge hit. Irish whiskey takes over the world. They start importing and exporting all across the world. It was the best thing since sliced bread. And I don't even know if sliced bread was open at that time. I'm not even sure. But what happens when things go really good and profit is being made? Take a guess. What do you think?
They expand.
Someone wants a piece of that pie, right? In this case, it was the government. So in 1785, they implemented a law. It's called the barley tax, or a tax. It was called the barley tax. And essentially, they implemented a tax on all malted barley. And that was the specific wording. Legalities are very specific when it comes to words. Malted barley. So these guys didn't know what to do. They were losing profits. Things were going downhill. So they were like, let's try unmalted barley. And thus became this new category of whiskey called single pot still whiskey, which is a mix of malted and unmalted barley. And it went off. Everything was great. For about 100 years, Irish whiskey took over. And then you lead into prohibitions, you have wars, you have Ireland fighting for independence, and things kind of fizzled out. But
what does did the single pot get around the tax or?
That's a great question. So the single part is just one grain, like a single grain.
Okay.
Yeah. In this case, it is malted and unmalted barley, but that's what the single, that word means in that. The pot still is this massive kind of pot still, copper pot still, but it's single grain. That's a good question. Yeah.
Question, the current single pot still, what did that used to be called?
Pot still.
Just pot
Just
still?
pot still, yeah.
And single is more
Single
new?
identified the category as one grain, because back in the day you could mix the grains. And it wasn't just here in Ireland, it was all around the world. You could have a mix. Like for example, bourbons, it's 51% corn and then other grains, kind of that concept.
So is all Irish pot still? Not single pot still classification, a pot still?
Yes and no. It can be continuous, column still, and or pot still. For example, Jameson, and I'll get to that, is a blend. So you have the mash bill here is 80% column still and about 20% single pot still. And when we go into column distillation, Jameson, in its blend, uses another type of grain. Does anyone want to take a guess?
Rye.
Rye is a good guess, but no. Wheat? No. That's a good guess. It's actually corn. So it's corn, and that's what gives it its sweetness, its kind of vanilla notes, similar to bourbons. The sourcing of the corn, you can't really grow corn out in Ireland. The atmosphere and the altitude is just not the best conditions. So we get our corn from France. And France has really good laws and really good regulations for grains, and it's a high quality grain at the end of the day. So Jameson, for example, like I said, it's 80-20, I like to say. 80% corn column still and 20% single pot still. But it is a blend of corn, malted, and unmalted barley. Those are the grains. The wood that it's aged in or matured in, it's going to be ex-bourbon barrels. We actually get that from Jack Daniels. They're a huge bourbon house, so a lot of our barrels come from there. And we also use Oloroso sherry butts. Does anyone know the difference between butts and barrels?
The size?
The sizing, yeah. It's larger, it holds more volume.
So like 150 versus 53 or
100%.
something?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
So Jameson, to that point, is corn, malted and unmalted barley. It has ex-bourbon, ex-sherry cask, and it is aged for 3 to 5 years. That's what the blend you'll find in here. 3 years and a day, to be exact. and I'm sure you guys have all tried Jameson Original, or do you guys want to try that side by side as well, or how do you guys have had it before? That's great.
I think everyone in the world's had Jameson.
Yeah, I mean, Jameson is top 10 spirit in the world, you know, comparable to like Shoju, which is like in Asia, and all sorts of Smirnoff is another one, but Jameson specific, yeah, right, Yo, yeah, and it's surprising that they're still on top. I don't get that either.
What is it?
Smirnoff.
Oh,
But it's top 10, one of the top 10 spirits. Irish whiskey, it paved the way for Irish whiskey categories, so it kind of set the tone for that. And we produce so many barrels and so many bottles imported and exported all around the world. It's a great spirit. One of the things that I like to note is the crest here. I guess it's like a cool like tidbit. This means it says Sine Metu, right? And it means it's their family crest, and it means without fear. So back in what I was saying, from the 1800s to the 1900s, they were on top of the world. What happened in the 1900s? You have prohibition, you had wars, you had independence. Ireland was trying to. This crest kind of symbolizes like their perseverance through all that.
can I see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was that like Gaelic or something?
Yeah, it is exactly Gaelic. Yeah, Sine Metu.
Sine
I think
Metu.
I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. So, I guess we'll move on to the tasting. So the first one that I'd like to start is actually in the middle. It's the Jameson Black Barrel. So Black Barrel, it's kind of like our reserve series here. It is what I like to call like Jameson's older, bigger brother. It's slightly older, about 4 to 7 years aged, so just a little bit older. You guys remember the grains, so it's corn, malted and unmalted barley, but in this case, the mash bill is somewhat reversed. I would say it's 40% single pot still whiskey, malted and unmalted barley, and 60% column still, which is the corn. What we do different here, we're still going to use the same ex-bourbon barrels and ex-sherry butts. However, we double char the bourbon barrels, and what that does is kind of brings another life out into the wood, right? It opens up the pores, it opens up the wood itself, and you're going to pull a lot more notes when you bring in the distillate, especially at a higher proof. So, what notes do you get from bourbon? Do you guys like vanilla, like
Caramel,
honey, toffee,
honey.
caramel?
Mm.
That's exactly what you find in Jameson Black Barrel. It's going to be more of those
Bourbon
vanilla
note.
notes, those toffee notes, caramel notes. You can actually see by the color. I mean, it kind of gives it away. But that's what I would say when you're tasting this. And since you guys have all tasted original, when you taste this, you're going to immediately see it. It's in the nose, right up the front. But as you taste it, it's smoother, it's silkier, it's sweeter in a sense, but no actual added sugar or anything like that.
I have a question
yeah,
on the
please.
mash bill, just so I can process. So,
Please.
so the 40% single pot still, so that's barley unmalted in a
Correct.
pot still.
Yes.
And then the column is just corn,
Yes.
and then those are blended afterwards.
Correct.
Okay, so
They'll get that, age it for in an ex-bourbon barrel
Yeah.
for 4 years in this case.
yeah,
The other one 4 years, and then blend.
so much different than the bourbon.
Correct.
where
A
it's
lot of
the
them
mash
finish
bill.
in
Yeah.
other barrels. These are no finishes. They're compound aging in that
Yeah.
sense, where it's separated and then the master blender puts it all together.
So kind of like Canadian,
Yeah.
Correct.
but not like
Yeah.
bourbon. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Good reason to point it out. All right, so let's go ahead and taste it so you guys can kind of see where we're coming from. What do you guys think? What are you tasting? What do you smell? That's usually what I do is
smell like the butterscotch.
At 9 a.m. on a
Yeah.
Wednesday.
9 a.m. on a Wednesday. Yeah.
The toffee.
Yeah.
Definitely some toffee. Okay. Vanilla. I think it's smoother than original.
I
Maybe
thought it
even
was
better.
very smooth.
Yeah. Cool. This is like, I guess, like a higher end version of Jameson. So I would put this in, more like old fashioned, like spirit forward cocktails, so you can kind of still taste the spirit. You don't want to like mix it up in like a paper plane or something like that, or I don't know, any other cocktail you can think of. You don't want to add acid.
That is in our
Irish.
Irish old fashioned.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. It goes well with cherry. It goes well with oranges and citrus.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
It's very
Cool.
very good in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a lot better than the regular Jameson. And
Oh, for
it
sure. I
stands
agree.
out.
I agree. I think it's well, triple's actually the best, but this is a close second. Another thing is, of those barrels that we do use, we're very selective of the barrels. So this is considered like a select batch whiskey. They put that on the bottle too. There's hundreds of thousands of barrels that come into the Jameson facility, and the specific ones that are just the best get used for Jameson Black Barrel.
What makes them one of the best?
You know, how many times it's used, how open the pores are, especially after the charring. You know, sometimes you can overchar it, and then it's just not useful at all. It's really just depends on our cobbers, is what they're called, and they figure it out and see which is the better ones, which hold the test of time. You know?
So a cobber is someone who's like an expert.
Yeah, like takes care of the woods and the barrels and makes the barrels and all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have two questions. So
Sure.
if you have a bottle that says single pot still, absolutely no corn
Correct.
in that at all.
Single grain barley. That's
Just-
it. Correct.
Barley, malted and unmalted.
Correct.
That's it.
Yeah, and you'll find that in the next two that we were tasting.
Perfect. The other question is triple distilled. Is
Yeah.
that a requirement for all Irish?
Yeah. Requirement, no,
Okay.
but very, very common. Almost like 95% of all Irish whiskeys is triple distilled.
Okay.
And it's somewhat known of Irish whiskey. Other whiskeys won't do triple distillation. It's very minimal that they do it.
Okay.
But in Irish whiskey, it's single pot still and triple distillation. That's like
Are any in the portfolio here today
Mm-hmm.
not triple
No.
distill? Okay.
all of these. Anything that comes out of Middleton is triple distilled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, let's move on. Red Breast. Honestly, this is probably my favorite one, but I guess we'll go for that. So, Red Breast is going to be the next one up online. This one is single pot still whiskey, so it's only going to be malted and unmalted barley. The wood that they use for this is going to be ex-bourbon and ex-sherry, Oloroso sherry out in Spain. And this specific one is age statement is 12 years. However, the master distiller typically does 2 to 3 years more within the blend. So you'll have up to, I'd say, 15 year in the bottle, between 12 and 15. But the youngest in the bottle is going to be 12. A little history about Redbreast. It was founded by two brothers, Arthur and Walter Gibley. They were whiskey bonders, which basically means they would buy the distillate and then recask it in their own barrels. These guys, through Prohibition and through all the wars and all these like counterfeiting eras, they held the most integrity, I'd say. They stayed true to it all. They didn't try to cut the product or add anything, additives or anything to that degree. So what I like to say, and it's a good selling point too, this is kind of like a time capsule to when Irish whiskey was at the top of the world. Redbreast specifically wins all the awards of all of Irish whiskey. It's continuously winning gold in first place, second place. Here you'll see it has 96 points in Whiskey Advocate, which is really, really high up there. And I think the spirit kind of speaks for itself. It's incredible. This is, of all of them here, of Jameson, Redbreast, Spots, and Middleton, Redbreast is my favorite.
Mine as well.
Yeah.
That specific
This one, this one's our recruit, kind of gets you going into the whole flock. We'll try some other ones, some unique ones later, but for the purposes of the training, 12 is the recruit, like we say. This is chill filtered as well compared to the others, and we'll touch on that as well. But chill filtered basically just means that it removes some like extra tannins and imperfections, impurities, maybe some oils.
That one is chill filtered?
This one is chill
It
filtered.
is?
Yeah. A lot of whiskey connoisseurs in that sense will kind of be like, you're ruining it, you're taking away the raw essence of it, but it's not, you're not ruining it. It's just removing some of those extra imperfections that make it a little bit more silkier, smoother to taste and to ingest. Great, so you guys want to go ahead and smell it, look at it, taste it, tell me what you're thinking. I get a lot of stone fruits from this, dried fruits. Apricot comes to mind. You get some spices in there. but it's really good. It's really smooth. You can really almost identify the difference between single pot still and the blends. This is not a blend. It's just single pot still whiskey, barley all the way through and through. What do you think? What do you taste?
Smooth.
Smooth?
Really
Yep.
smooth.
Fruity,
Yeah.
fruity to the tongue, and then it's spicy.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Yeah. You get the spices
No
in the
burn
back.
though.
Huh?
No burn.
No burn. That's a great point. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that is true to the chill filtration, but also single pot still whiskey.
But it went down a little smoother than the Jameson.
100%. 100%.
Is this the only one we sell right now? Is this one right here?
No, we
No.
have all of these.
You guys have all of them?
We have 4 red breasts.
Yeah.
We have the green stuff.
And I've only tried 3 of them. I've never,
Yeah.
we haven't,
The 27?
we haven't popped it yet.
That's a treat.
I've never had
I can't wait for
the
you guys to-
18, 21, 27, none of them.
No
That's
way.
all I've had.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Okay.
Which one did you make last night?
I think the 18 out of all of them, especially for the price point and everything, is my favorite. But then 27 is a treat,
I can't wait.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions, any thoughts, or anything? No, it's good, right? Okay, cool. And the reason we call it Redbreast, so the brothers, Walter, as a matter of fact, he was an avid bird watcher. So the robin redbreast is the only bird in Ireland that stays in Ireland, does not migrate through, to the south, goes down to the Keys and hangs out on the beaches and stuff.
What was
It's the robin redbreast. And he was an avid bird watcher, so in those cold winter months when he was waiting for the redbreast to mature, he noticed the redbreast, and that's what he decided to call it. It's a beautiful redbreast, just out there enjoying the day, and he knew that beauty would also fit for the beauty of this bottle. All right, so next one here is going to be Green Spot. So, Green Spot is going to be another single pot still whiskey, so it's only malted and unmalted barley. It is going to use the wood here is ex-bourbon and ex-sherry. That's kind of another tidbit for Irish whiskey. It's usually ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, and then depending on what expression you're using, there's multiple other types of casks. But there's no age statement on the Green Spot. There are age statements on the other spots. I would say this is between 5 and 8 years. It really just depends on the master distiller at the time to blend it all together. But it is still just 1 grain single pot still whiskey. And the Mitchell and Sons Co., similar to the Walter and Arthur Gilbey, they were whiskey bonders as well. They're one of those other that stand the test of time, keeping their integrity. They actually started out as a bakery and confectionery. Does anyone know what a confectionery is?
Sugars?
Yeah, sugars, yeah. So they used to make candy for the Queen back in 1700s. Yeah, right? And they were growing in popularity, growing in status, and then they decided to enter the wine and spirits market. So they became wine and spirits importers and exporters. And when they had all these extra casks, they decided to, let's buy some of the distillate and recast them. So there's a story that says, this is how they identified, this was their identifier, but if you think logically, I suppose, education wasn't really up there in Ireland in that time, so not a lot of people knew how to read or write, and the easiest way to kind of identify something was maybe through color. So those casks that they used, they would identify which is which by marking them with a spot. So you'll see the spot in all of them here. There's red, there's gold, there's blue, there's green. And that's kind of what gave it its name, Green Spot. Yeah, this is really cool. Really cool. So go ahead and look at it, smell it, taste it, tell me what you're thinking. I like to consider this one as much like, I think this is more orchard fruits like pear and green apple. You can already tell by the color, it's a lot lighter than most. But yeah, what do you guys?
It's a little folly.
Folly, sure,
Folly.
absolutely, yeah. What do you get in fall? You get a lot of fruits. You get a lot of orchards, and stuff. Allspice, yeah, absolutely. I think it's really smooth, almost too smooth, too light. But it's incredible, yeah. I like to give guests, you know, this as like a neat pour or something. Maybe a little bit of ice. I wouldn't want to like muddy it with anything else like sugars or acids, or any other modifiers to that degree. You really do kind of like you said, like it's one of those like, wow, this is really different, you know, like very light. It's almost like a wine, you know. So it's really cool.
Is that our bottle?
I pulled it from here, yeah. Yeah.
Have people been calling for that?
Yeah. The first time I had to pour it, they asked for they did Michelin sauce and
Yeah.
spot, so it wasn't in Michelin sun then.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was literally looking for it. He's like, it's right over there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
didn't ask, and I'm like, where is it?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because it says it like right in front,
Yeah.
but no, these are spots. These are the spot whiskeys. Yeah. Cool. All the ones that we're drinking today is 40% ABV. This one, however, is non-chill filter, so there is a little bit of a difference compared to the Black Barrel and the Redbreast 12. Non-chill filter is going to relieve the oils and imperfections and impurities, and it creates a different mouthfeel. It's kind of a little lingering in that sense. It's oily, a little nutty, of course. Yeah, absolutely. You know, again, it's one of those, that's like a little small tidbit for like those whiskey connoisseurs, like, hey, I have something that's raw in that sense, or to that degree. Yeah. You guys have a favorite of all the three?
Mine's the green spot.
Green Spot? Okay.
I love the red rest. The red spot.
Spot? Okay, nice. Red Rest.
Yeah, red rest is amazing.
Wait till we try, if we get, maybe we should try a few like unique ones, but, awesome.
Gustavo, we can bring up anything that you want as well here.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
If you want to go in, if you're on Green Spot, do you want to taste any of the wine finishes?
I think, yeah, maybe we can get them Gold Spot. I mean, is that where you guys think Gold Spot is, like, you guys have like high-end spirit buyers or someone who want to taste that?
All of that's
Cool.
Those shelves over there.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, we can try, or maybe we can do the Blue Spot, which is the cask strength.
We just got the blue spot. We got this and put it out there.
Okay, I see it here, yeah. So, I mean, I know a lot of bourbon lovers prefer that extra heat, that extra, so that cask strength is really going to come out. I think usually that's probably the better one of all of them. Just because it's awesome, yes.
Oh, you are?
Yep, so they're ready to go.
Could you add them to tomorrow?
They're nice and cold too, we were driving.
I think. Is that your
Blue, I
camera
think blue would be great, yeah. Alright.
This is yellow.
Yeah, sure. And then maybe we can bring 18 and 27 Red Rest.
Got it.
Yes. Now you're talking.
Yeah. So basically, what happens here is they go to different wine houses. Yeah. So this one's going to be Chateau Montanello, which is a Zinfandel cask. You guys know about Zinfandel? The wine cask. So, okay. And then you have the Louisville Barton, which is another kind of Zinfandel Chateau house. Let's try and get these tastes here.
Sliced bread, the bread slicer was invented in 1912.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so which is another kind of Zinfandel Chateau house. Let's try and get these tastes here.
Sliced bread, the bread slicer was invented in 1912.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so not too far off.
Thanks, Nick.
So, is this just called Green Spot finished? Is that?
Yeah, so it gets finished. That one gets finished in the Zinfandel Chateau Montanella, and then this is the Louisville Barton. They're just like limited releases, limited allocations. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Those are the two that you're saying?
Yeah, we get limited amounts of those every year.
All right, so on your left will be the Louisville Barton. I used to bartend for like 10 years, and now I don't have the skill anymore.
And which one is this one?
So this one's the Leoville Barton.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be that ex-bourbon, ex-sherry cask, and then they use another type of Zinfandel in the chateau.
Is it still the
Anyone
5 to
else?
8?
Yeah. Say again?
Still 5 to 8.
Yeah, this is going to be the same green spot, just finished in a different kind of cask. Here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Single pot still whiskey, non-chill filtered as well.
Super
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. You can hold that over. Slightly different, just adds a little bit more complexity.
The mouth feels.
Mouthfeel is a little
Yeah.
bit more prominent for sure. Okay, that's a good note. The next one here is Chateau Montanello.
I should probably try this one.
Apple juice, yeah. I get a lot of orchid fruits. Apples,
Yeah.
pears. This one's gonna be finished in that Zinfandel too. Again, single pot still whiskey, non-chill filtered, aged, same as the green spot.
So it's bourbon, sherry, and then.
And then finished in the
Okay.
Zinfandel, yeah.
All right.
Here you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And then we'll do well, I don't want to blow your palate. This one's pretty strong.
Can I get that one too?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir.
So of all the 3 green spots that you tried, do you guys have a new favorite now? Maybe it was. So we'll take green spots first, then the Leo is second, and the Chateau is the third. For me, it's the Chateau.
The Chateau,
I
yeah.
really like those orchard, those
Yeah.
apple notes that you were talking about.
Yeah.
I think the Zinfandel just like shines very, very brightly there.
I like the first one.
The first one, okay, that's good. Keep it classy, keep it original.
Yeah. I like the mouthfeel.
Nice. Okay,
That
awesome.
is the most fun to drink.
Who's this guy? That's awesome.
All right, cool. Well, I don't know if switching between brands is ideal, but this is such a high strength. It'd probably be best to do it at the end, just because it's cask strength. So I'll move over to 18. Yeah, I think so.
I've got some more.
Okay, cool.
Is this the 27 box?
Yeah. Isn't it nice? Here, look at that. It's like a whole display case.
We have that box upstairs, Rob.
Which one?
27 year?
Yeah,
Can I have it?
absolutely.
I was gonna ask that.
You guys need to sell a pour before you talk
I've been
about the
trying.
box. There you go.
Holy, I keep telling people
That's a
like,
good, hey, that's a good point. You
I
get a
like-
pour, get to play with the box.
Oh, I think I owe you for the flight
18.
thing. I know we didn't finish it because we switched, but you had all but one sold, right?
Yes.
Never mind.
So this one that we're tasting here is my personal favorite, mainly because of the price point. Like I can actually afford this one. The 27 is really good, but it's so crazy. Luckily, they gave me a bottle. Right? There you go.
I'm good on 18, so you can.
Good, yeah, no
I
worries.
just tasted it through a.
So,
last week.
immediately I would say the smell is different. The difference here, obviously, the 18-year age statement, so it's going to be 6 years older than the 12. Single pot still whiskey, so you have malted and unmalted barley. The bourbon, the barrels here are going to be ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, and ex-oloroso cream sherry. So that cream sherryness is going to give it a little bit more of those baking spice notes, those chocolatey notes. You might get a little bit of zestiness from like orange peels or so, but that's on the nose. Go ahead and taste it, and you'll see what I mean. Also non-chill filtered, so it's going to have those oils, imperfections, impurities, but it's a mouthfeel. It really does come down to the mouthfeel, which I think whiskey lovers appreciate.
Wait, this is chill filter?
Non-chill filtered, yeah.
The 12 is filtered
chill
and the
filtered.
18's not.
Correct.
What about the 27?
Non-chill filter. Anything past 12 is non-chill filter.
Huh.
In the Redbreast line, yeah. Except for the PX and the La Stout, which are just limited release. Which we do have too.
So is the 12 and the 18 finishes the same, just the age is different? Or
No, so the finish is not necessarily a finish. It's another one of those compounded aging maturation.
Yeah.
12 is going to be ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, and then this is going to be ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, and ex-oloroso cream sherry.
So is it go like, was this 12 at some point and then it went into a third barrel? Like, or is it completely
Yes.
separate? Like,
I hear what you're saying. It's actually, yeah, it's separate. So it stayed past 12. It went all the way to 18 in bourbon,
Yeah.
18 in sherry, 18 in Oloroso,
Yeah.
and all together blended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the 12 is 12-12
Yeah.
blended.
It's
Yeah.
kind of semantics.
Yeah.
At one point, it kind of was a 12.
It kind of was
Yeah.
a 12,
But
yeah.
we didn't stop it from being 12.
Yeah.
We let it
Yeah.
continue to be
exactly.
18.
That's exactly the point. Yeah.
And then added cream sherry barrel.
yeah,
Correct,
I
yeah.
keep processing it like bourbon. I'm thinking of
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
then
yeah.
this, then this,
Yeah.
and this,
And
instead
that's,
of like
that's kind
linear.
of why we had to categorize Irish
Yeah.
by itself, because it just really is different in the maturation process, in the grains, but also in some of the rules. I think bourbon has different wood rules, but we have the age rule, which has to be on Ireland for 3 years minimum.
The keeping it in the separate, like how it's in the X and bourbon and then the
Uh-huh.
sherry,
Yeah.
is that another reason the taste on it is a little different?
Sure. Yeah, that could definitely be a
Because it's
reason.
not going from.
Yeah,
separate as, like, the bourbon
absolutely.
is?
Yeah. I mean, the master distillers and the blenders, they change all of it all the time. It's never like, okay, we're gonna do 60% this, 40% that. It really depends on the year. It could depend on the atmosphere and how long things age because of the heat. Or you guys know about angel share, so there's angel shares out there. It's really just dependent on the climate and the time of the year.
How much is this? Is this available to us?
Yes.
And how much is
18
it?
nat.
And the 21 while you're at it, if it's available, just to see.
All right, so let's, I guess, all right, we'll do the 27 and then we'll go to the cash.
Here's some cups if you need.
Yeah, of course.
You guys see how it works? The 27. He actually opened it.
I thought you were like actually trying to do something right there.
I wanted to try it. I told him they had to sell it.
Yeah.
The shot
I'm
before.
trying every time they're like, oh, I don't want to
I know.
How much is
27?
it?
Whatever.
How much is it an ounce?
I
Do you
want
know?
to try it.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
It's right here.
You don't want it?
Look.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't want you to.
700 a bottle. It's
Oh,
our second
man, okay.
highest priced bottle in the whole bar. So.
This
Yeah.
one's really good.
Yeah, you're missing out some.
I'm not drinking right now.
It's okay, neither am I. But you could definitely smell it.
Okay. Oh, no, you're okay. 92.50.
Oh, you did?
Still pretty good, actually.
I was wondering who got that.
There you go.
How much is it?
92.50.
There you are. Would you like some too, or?
Enjoy your $92 pour.
Yes. So guys, Redbreast 27, it's gonna be single pot still whiskey, malted, unmalted barley. It's gonna be ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, and ruby port husks, or butts in that sense too, but just smaller butts. The ruby port adds like a very jammy, very berry-like kind of flavor to it.
Very tannic.
Very lots of tannins. But
I
you,
will have one.
oh, absolutely, yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
And one thing that I pick up is just tropical fruits, like mango,
Yeah,
like
the first
pear,
thing
like
is the
pineapple, almost, right? It's guava. You get guava. You get all these unique tropical fruits that you just won't find.
Hey, perfect time for this.
What were you guys doing last night? This is the volume. Austin, what were you doing when you closed last night?
I was not that loud.
That.
They were jamming. You're really gonna pull after 27 years in wood. You're gonna pull a lot of those wood notes, those vanilla notes, those honey notes. But you get nutty notes too, like walnuts. You get all those fruity notes, like the mango. I get a lot more mango than anything.
Totally.
Out in Miami, I eat mangoes.
I felt like
That one's like so good. It's completely different from any whiskey I've ever had in this category, almost in any other spirit category itself. It's just unique. No added flavors, none of that. It's truly from the barrels. It's truly from the wood, from the grain, and from the aging 27 years.
Well, the good news for me is I like this better.
For your wallet, that is.
That's exactly what I say. For my wallet and everything, it's all the.
I like it. It almost went out of the Irish for me. It almost went like to
Yeah.
a different
100%.
It's very good, but Yeah.
100%.
It
A lot of
loses
those
some of
bourbon guys, they're like, Irish is too soft, it's too weak.
Oh, no,
You give them
we
this,
need
and they're like,
that.
all right, now I can play with it.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
their wallets are, good
Yeah.
too, I think. All right, cool. So last but not least, we'll do the cash strength just to
Do you want to
send it
stay?
off.
She's gonna grab 21, I think. Were you wanting to try
Do you want
21?
to do 21?
I would love to try one.
Yeah, okay, we can do 21, sure.
What kind of question is that? Come on. Nah, I'm good.
Take a jump backwards, but I think it still stays
I agree,
up
I
pretty
agree.
fine.
21, I mean, ultimately, it's going to be the 12-year aged to 21, but this one is non-chill filtered, and you do get a lot of different notes from that. Once you passed, I mean, I'd say 15 years, you're going to start pulling a lot more from the wood, especially at the climate that Ireland is at. So you're going to get more of those vanillas, more of those honeys, more of those nutty notes too, walnuts, almonds. But 21 is really nice too. It's yeah.
Oh,
Is it still the bourbon and all
Yes, ex-bourbon, ex-sherry. It's gonna be like the 12, just aged longer and blended slightly different.
Yeah, I like that box.
This one is probably the best box, honestly. You get yeah, of course.
That's a cool box.
You get more of those sherry nuttiness. You get more of those berry notes here.
If we're so
Hey, the box is what sells. I'm not gonna lie. Like the G4, will keep like the ones in the coffins. Like those will sell.
Yeah, they sell for
Like
sure.
if we keep it in the coffin, it'll just go.
You know what I said?
Thank
about
you.
what
Yeah.
Why
is
do
the
the
cost of
mariachi then?
Because we're selling that downstairs. I said, if you want to see that up on Silvano's wall.
Oh, yeah. I already put this in there.
Well, didn't your mom as well?
Oh,
Lark's gonna try and fight you.
Yeah, this one's
I
really
think I
nice
might
too.
have a.
That was the 18 and 21 that she just.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Hey, so the 18 and 21 will be here tomorrow along with those, just in time for St. Patty's Day, okay?
Oh, yeah, great time.
When's St.
17th on a Monday, March 17th.
Go back to Japan.
Oh, you just came back from Japan?
Like 2 days ago.
Oh my
yes.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, that must have been a treat.
It's St. Patrick's season now. We're trying to celebrate St.
Yeah.
Patrick's Day earlier and earlier.
Yep.
It's a whole month.
Yes, thank you. I like it.
What was the one you just poured?
The 21.
21.
Redbreast 21. Yeah. What do you guys think? What are you guys feeling, tasting? Smelling?
That is much smoother.
Yeah.
Smoother? Okay.
Man, I'm not a big fan. I don't.
Yeah.
I thought the other one was more
The
intense.
18
I'll be
is
honest
still
with you, the
really
21 is not one of my
You
favorites.
don't taste any berries or
It
anything.
doesn't do much.
Man, the
Doesn't
12
do
is
much.
is the best bang for the buck out of
Yeah,
anything.
12 is good.
It's
I
so
love
good.
the 18, 27 obviously, and then 21 and 15 I get, you know.
Yeah, the 21 is my least favorite so far.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You liked it the most, huh?
It's going uphill against 27 right before that.
Yeah, that's
27
tough.
is
Yeah, yeah.
such it's
That is
such
tough,
a
yeah.
mouthfeel
Yeah.
that overtakes you
Yeah.
and then makes this taste.
Dude, 12 is
Like
so
nothing.
good.
It
12 is great.
it is
12
good.
is phenomenal.
12
yeah.
is like
21 is also non-chill filtered, so you do get that different mouthfeel.
Yeah, a
as
little
well.
bit of that.
But it's the ruby port that like really coats
Yeah,
it up. Yeah,
yeah.
100%. Okay, and then the last one that I have in front of you is going to be the Blue Spot. This is the cash strength, so we're looking at 116 proof. Pretty strong out there. Aged 7 years. This is single pot still whiskey again, unmalted barley. But
That one does
ex-bourbon.
have an age statement.
Say again?
That one does have an age statement.
Yeah, this one does have an age statement, 7 years. We're going to use ex-bourbon barrels, ex-sherry butts, but in this case, we do finish it in Madeira cask. Madeira cask is going to be found in like Portugal, for example. And yeah, you get a lot of different flavors from that. You get a lot of different aromas from that as well. I really love this one out of maybe the whole line. I think red is my least favorite. That uses Malaga cask. But this one is really nice. It's really smooth. And then that cask strength is going to add that extra heat where you can kind of taste that flavor. The flavor profile is a little stronger.
and that one's on the bar as of today.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad we finished with that one because blow your palate after that. Please.
That's really good.
He would say.
Yeah. It's strong. It's definitely strong.
Yeah.
Strong, huh? Oh, wow.
That one on the rocks, I'd say, like a big rock, let it dilute a bit.
After all the
maybe a little bit
A's.
of water can definitely help open it up. But a lot of those bourbon guys will just love this
Just
one.
burn.
Yeah, it burns.
That's a cash string.
That's very good.
Yeah.
It's pretty much exactly the response we get. Yeah.
That's a big
So,
boy
like,
whiskey right
What's
there.
Some,
16
some like this supposed to really, really burn
Yeah.
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 on purpose.
Yeah. Some
It's
people
so burn.
they need that. Yeah.
Dude, you wouldn't want to try the
Cowboy.
Cowboy, a 140.9.
That's tough.
The cast strength allows you to then possibly tone it down to the proof you like
Correct.
best. Maybe you like something at 98 proof that you can't get because the regular blue spotted or green spot is 90.
The part I don't like about cast strength
awesome.
Irish
I didn't
is
even notice.
it feels like to me it loses the Irish. Like,
Sure.
For me,
Sure.
it's a very good whiskey, but
Yeah.
it almost feels non-Irish.
I agree. There is a non-cast strength version of Blue Spotted, if I'm not mistaken. But it's hard to find. It's like a
Yeah, I was
hard
gonna say, we
allocation. I
haven't
think it's
had it
only
for
in
a while.
Ireland.
So the one that
Um,
we have right there is the same one we're trying right here. Is it? Is it exactly the
Possibly
same?
everything obviously will be a different proof.
Yeah.
We,
Yeah.
depending on which batch we get.
Yeah.
Actually, it's in here last night. Seeing a brother that used to live in Ireland.
You did?
Oh yeah.
No way. What part?
Um,
Everything here that you find is in Middleton, by the way. The Middleton Distillery,
remember.
Middleton
Dad,
City, if you will.
didn't you at Ireland? Where'd you go?
All over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
he called for the spring bank.
I'm trying to go in
So
June,
that was his-
hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Amazing. It's
Yeah.
Someone was here last night.
Huh?
What, from our group? you
Yeah,
think?
they need to take me.
They
you
came
know,
a
like-
little bit before you guys, but they were just in there and he got some of the spring bank. And
Gotcha.
says it blows people out of their minds when they try it.
Nice.
Very good.
Cool. You guys have any other questions?
I
Oh, do
brought
you guys
up
want to do
gold.
gold?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you guys were talking about gold a little bit.
Gold is incredible. Really, really.
Is that
This is the third
available too?
This is another allocated one, right? Yeah.
So this one's allocated, but I can
This is
definitely
13
get you one
years.
for about- for sure.
Okay.
Experiment.
What's the cost on this one?
But they use
Oh.
4 pipes and Bordeaux cask. So you're gonna get a
Yeah,
lot
gold.
more different flavors here. I think this is probably the smoothest, most delicious of them all. Very hard to find. Very allocated, I guess is the
Yeah.
right word.
So obviously this is the best time to be
Yeah. Please taste.
getting some allocations. So 152.
And you know, Irish, the leprechauns always chasing their gold. This is the best one to get.
Who opens the bar today?
Me.
Like a 700 milliliter.
Why?
I was just picturing if I had to open the bar after 42 drinks, I'd be like, "Oh, do you?"
I've been drinking them all.
So yeah, single pot still whiskey, malted on malted barley. You're gonna get ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, port pipes, Bordeaux. Non-chill filtered as well, so you're gonna get those oils that
much is
mouthfeel.
it?
And
Sweeter.
it's I agree. It's
add one of
sweeter, it's smoother, it's
have it?
lighter in that
Well,
sense.
to
It's
get
still
allocated,
92%.
it might
So
come at a later
I mean,
date.
after
Okay.
having
But it'll be
cash
here
you're
before it's
definitely gonna
Okay.
blow the palate a little bit, but it's gonna go down easier than this for sure. Yeah.
Get everything locked in the system
Yeah,
Friday.
there's a lot of really cool stuff
I would say.
in Ireland in this line in this portfolio, and I'm really glad to be out here and sharing with you guys. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Appreciate
Cheers.
your time. So
Yeah.
you live in Miami?
Yeah, born and raised in Miami, but they fly me all over.
Awesome.
Pretty much the East Coast and as far west, I guess, as Chicago. I've been to Texas a couple times.
Can you talk to us about the Middleton a little bit?
So Middleton, we don't have programming for Middleton. They keep it very hush hush.
Yeah.
But basically, Middleton, this is their finest whiskey that comes out of Middleton Distillery. We do have the Barry Crockett, which I think is
Oh.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Barry Crockett is the master distiller, and he basically made his own version of whiskey that he says is the best whiskey he's ever had. And that's what you're tasting right there with the Barry Crockett. You're still gonna get single pot still whiskey, malted and unmalted barley. You're still gonna get bourbon and sherry cask, but the age statements, that's he might pull some red breads, he might pull some this, he might pull that. It's really depending on how he feels that year.
And that's beautiful
And
packaging.
yeah, the packaging is unique.
So
We
the
like
Barry,
packaging. This is
Barry Crockett's very different each.
correct. Yeah. The very rare aspect of it, from what I was
The barrel?
told, even though they keep it very hush hush, it's just that it's a rare. If you get this one, and then you get the 22, they're completely different. You know, that's the rarity of it.
They're vintage dated.
This spirit that's inside, you're not gonna find it ever again. It's gonna be completely different moving on in the test of time.
Is that a Barry Crockett right there?
No, this one's the vintage.
Oh, that's the middle.
That's the
and then-
vintage, and then the Barry Crockett. So
Do you still have the Barry Crockett
Barry Crockett's right.
available?
Get your little taste right. There you go. I think that's actually his face right there. Yeah, look, that's him.
That's a nice pour, man.
For you, man. 92%. What's unique about this bottle compared to say this bottle is this is 750. This is 700, which you don't see too often.
yeah,
these days.
same with the gold. The gold's
Yes.
700 on
Yep.
out,
Yep.
too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is true. So yeah, you can see side by side.
700 more and more.
Just a little bit off.
I think so.
Anyone want to try this
Stuff,
one?
yeah.
The U.S. changed the
Yeah.
standard
Try it.
of fill like 1 or 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and so the rest of the world like
It's all 700. Yeah.
Sure.
So I mean, they're basically making these for the U.S. I think.
So this is the top whiskey that comes
This
out
is
of all
They're
of
already
this is
set
the
up
top
to do
whiskey from the
750s when they're live,
master
so I
distiller
think
Barry Crockett himself. This is like his
They
version
would
of
have
the
to be
best
like
whiskey.
Barry Crockett.
Barry Crockett.
This is excellent.
Different.
This is very good.
they kind of like drive to get rid of them, and I think the problem that you face is that customers might
Yeah, it's different, right?
the same price.
It just seems
Like, it's
inefficient to
not-
make 700 since
Yeah.
Differences.
Oh, agreed.
Put the lid over here.
Is this what is this like the 24 or the 25?
This is a 23, if I'm not
23,
mistaken.
okay.
So the Barry Crockett, doesn't have a
We don't have a lot of. We
like
don't have,
it
they
doesn't
keep
have
it
an
so
annual
secret.
release.
No.
It's like the regular, very rare.
The very
So
rare
This is just
date.
like
Yeah. Whenever he
Yeah.
feels like it.
well, they make it continually, but they don't like make a ton of it. So that's why it's
Got
not always available.
Which one was this?
Yeah, they only talk about
The Barry
him
Crockett?
as a person, really, but not the spirit.
Yeah.
This would be, I mean, for comparison's sake, this would be, I hate to use this comparison because we don't sell it, but
Yeah.
this would be the Pappy of
Yeah.
bourbon.
Yeah.
This
There's
is
a
like-
silent release chapters. So right now they're on chapter 4. The bottle goes for $70,000.
Yeah.
And it comes with a plane ticket from the master distiller. He would come from Ireland to talk to you for a day
Okay, we do
about
not
whatever
want
you
that.
For $70,000.
$70,000.
You got 30 days to pay it, though.
Well, it's like that one sketch I showed you that had it was like $84,000 and it was an 83-year-old
Yeah.
scotch.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have any of the Barry Crockett? And how much is that a bottle?
Very affordable compared to the Red Breast.
It is very
Is
affordable.
it?
It
compared
is,
to the
yeah.
rest. Yeah, that is
That's
very
like
true.
7 and change,
Yeah,
right?
I think this is 6 so
Six, close to 7.
It's close to 7. Oh wow, you guys have
383.
Yep.
And you do have one
never had
available?
That's great.
Would it come tomorrow?
Yeah. Which one is it again?
Okay, let's
Missouri.
do that one then.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the one. That
Have you not had that before?
Is that the Mizunora?
The
This is the
Missouri
first
Oak?
time holding
Missouri.
it.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Anybody want to try that?
that's y'all stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
appreciate
whiskey
it.
of the
I'm
year.
not gonna drink. Yeah, I'm not drinking.
Yeah, that's a
That's
top-
really cool.
That's a
I think
top
they only
20.
made so much. They only made so much.
It's a top 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many do we have legal now?
What was the one that was used here? One before that.
I think 11,
11.
11 or 12.
So what do you guys, I guess do you feel like you've taken something away from everything you've heard today, and like
Yes.
feel confident talking to people about this
I know
stuff?
more about Irish whiskey now than
Yeah.
I learned a ton
than
today.
so.
What do you guys like out of everything you've tasted? What's your favorites?
The one that was burned in the mouth.
JD,
The blue or the
JD likes
27
it.
year?
Good, yeah.
Okay.
It's good that we did it
I
towards
like
the
the
end.
spots.
So that, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, those are
The
The
bear-
spots,
the-
yeah.
spots to
Honestly,
go.
this one was my second favorite.
The Middleton?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
The green
Did y'all
spot.
try the Redbreast 27 year?
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yeah.
I still
I love
stand
it.
by
To me,
the-
it's like candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
The 12 is
Oh, for
the,
sure,
for the
for sure.
money.
or like
The 12 is untouchable.
12 is like a everyday thing.
But for
and then,
somebody
like,
else's
18,
money,
like,
the 27 year
every
is
other day.
fantastic.
Yeah.
92 bucks an ounce.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys ready for St. Patty's week? We're gonna do an adult St. Patrick's. No green beer,
Yeah.
no bullshit, no leprechauns. It's badass.
I like that.
So, Rob-
Elevate it.
You were talking about a flight, doing a flight as well. I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah.
you wanted to confer with.
Sure. I mean, what are you
Gustavo a little bit.
thinking? Yeah, I
Well,
have a lot of options. Do you want
yeah.
to do just a specific
a
type
spot.
of flight, or
Well, I
do you want
wanted
to
to
go
get
through
your-
the
Yeah,
whole?
we can do a spot.
Based on what-
We had there.
Yeah,